I believe the GWAT generation, specific veterans and intelligence pros in that generation, have more high-fidelity information about what's coming to the homeland than our own government. So when you have people like Sarah Adams, her network in that country is amazing. And the people that she's talking to are normally the people who'd be talking to three-letter agencies. But guess what? They don't trust those three-letter agencies at all. And those three-letter agencies and our administration clearly is not interested. When Afghanistan collapsed in 2021, right, or even go back to 9/11, when 9/11 happened, the worst terror attack in our nation's history, as a nation collectively, we said never again. It hit us so deeply that it was clear there was no really on-the-ground intelligence capability that could have gotten in front of this, because we had indications. And there was no ground strike capability. We weren't partnered with the Northern Alliance. There was no partner force in the country. So we didn't really have any ability to strike. All we had was over the horizon. Sound familiar? So for 20 years, as a nation, we invested, and as NATO, we invested in building an intelligence apparatus that would prevent another safe haven and deep strike on the states, and a partner force that could be the antibody to violent extremism in that safe haven. And we did both. We built those. We bled for them. We lost friends for them. We gave up our youth for that. And then on August 15th, 2021, an administration literally turned the page on that like it never even happened, like it was a ServPro commercial. And we walked away from 30,000 commandos. You know, we abandoned 98% of our human intelligence and just left it behind. And then we decided that we would deal with the Taliban as a legitimate state actor. And we would pay them humanitarian resources and counter-terror dollars to go after ISIS, because somehow we feel like they can actually target them and they're at odds. But so in doing that, what we actually did, and then these veterans groups from all over the country, there were hundreds of them. Pineapple was one of many. But we picked up the phone. And we answered the phone when the government didn't, and nobody was coming in. We were talking to intelligence operatives. We were talking to Afghan commandos and special forces members who had nowhere else to go. And these veterans, Shawn, they never hung up the phone. They never hung up the phone in 3 years. They've cashed in their 401ks for safe houses. They've cashed in their kids' college funds to pay for food drops, because these commandos and special forces and intel operatives, they can't show their face in public. Right? So they've kept them alive, and they've stayed on the phone with them. So when you have people like Sarah Adams, her network in that country is amazing. And the people that she's talking to are normally the people who'd be talking to three-letter agencies. But guess what? They don't trust those three-letter agencies at all. And those three-letter agencies and our administration clearly is not interested. I mean, we asked Masood, are you talking to any? Nope. And so, as weird as it is, and as strange as it is, and it's like the Twilight Zone. I believe the GWAT generation, specific veterans and intelligence pros in that generation, have more high-fidelity information about what's coming to the homeland than our own government.
Yeah.
And so it's not far-fetched.
Why do you think they've not made any big moves visibly yet? Why have we not seen an attack yet? What's your
if I put my unconventional warfare hat on, I'm going to take infiltration as long as you give it to me.
I was going to say the same thing. So I want to break that down a little bit more. And we have the question I would be asking myself is, why would we attack now?
Yeah.
Let's war game it. Let's see I think this about China. I think this about a lot of our adversaries. Why would you formulate an attack right now when the going's so good?
Yeah.
This isn't a joke. This isn't over embellished. The borders are wide open. We know Legend has been talking about this passport issue, how they are printing legitimate passports out and handing them out to as many terrorists as they possibly can to get them into South Central America and have them funnel up through the southern border. And so as long as that border is wide open and nobody in America is paying attention, why would they attack now? Why wouldn't they just keep, hey, let's train some more guys up, get them passports, have them infiltrate into the U.S. Going still good, get some more trained up, get them passports, get them in there. Get as many of these terrorists into the United States as we possibly can. And then if they ever do actually secure that border, that's go time.
Yeah, I think
hundreds of thousands of terrorists inside the United States just waiting for the go-ahead.
I mean, it's certainly a very large number of bad actors have made it into this country. And I would say not only Al-Qaeda, ISIS-K type operatives, but you're also looking at state actors. You're looking at China, Russia, Iran. All of these state actors have unconventional warfare mandates, right? You know, so Green Berets are your guerrilla warfare, unconventional warfare component of the SOF community. But there's other countries that have that same kind of thing. So imagine that. Imagine that subversion, sabotage operatives have made their way into the country that are not just non-state actors like Al-Qaeda, but state actors. And is it far-fetched to think that there's actually collaboration between them? Right, and I think there could be. I mean, certainly look at what's going on, for example, with Iran and the Taliban, and Iran and Al Qaeda. There is clearly a symbiotic relationship that was not there before, and so there's that. Then I wind it back to look at what's happening in Afghanistan. That people are. I don't know why no one's talking about this, but the Al Qaeda 2.0 book that just came out verifies what Sarah has been saying, verifies what Legend has been saying. 3 independent sources are saying that Hamza bin Laden is alive. He was not killed under the Trump administration. He is alive. He is the emir of Al-Qaeda, which means the brand is back. The bin Ladens are back. That matters to donations. It matters to how they are perceived to the Islamic Ummah. Like, it is a big stinking deal. He is in Afghanistan. Why would Osama bin Laden's son be in Afghanistan? What possible reason could he be there if for nothing other than retribution? He is married to the daughter of Mullah Omar, the former commander of the faithful of the Taliban, to the daughter of Haqqani, and to the daughter of Ayman Zawahiri. So
Can you go into who those are?
And so those are so the Haqqani network, right? Is a massive network in Afghanistan that's part of the Taliban, but also kind of an independent network that really were very connected to Osama bin Laden, right? And they're much more aggressive on a global scale, whereas the Taliban kind of has more of a regional focus. Haqqani has very much a kind of a global focus and a deeper alignment in many ways with Al-Qaeda in their global aspirations. So, and then Zawahiri was the former commander of the leader of Al-Qaeda after bin Laden died, that was killed on the porch with the drone strike. But what you have is this massive intermarrying, and this was what Masood was talking about, between the bin Ladens and the Taliban. So the Al-Qaeda group and the Taliban group are intermarrying. You know, and this is a very, very key thing to pay attention to. This is what Soleimani did with the Quds forces in Iran. He had his offspring intermarrying into Hezbollah. It creates this bond that when things go south, man, it's unbreakable. And no one's paying attention to this. No one's talking about this. The fact that Osama bin Laden's son is now the emir of Al-Qaeda is a very alarming thing. And so now, with that condition in place, you not only have this open border for infiltration to happen from the south, and arguably the north, but you've also got Haqqani, who was the father of suicide bombing in Afghanistan. I mean, a very aggressive global terrorist. He's now the Minister of Interior. So he controls the passport office. So a lot of these guys that are here, they have valid passports, you know? And I've even heard from several people.
I wanted to make sure people realize this isn't like a fake ID shop in college.
Oh, no, these are valid travel documents issued by the Ministry of Interior. And frankly, he's moving with impunity throughout the Middle East now. He has a $10 million bounty on his head by the United States. Yet he moves around. He just recently went to, I think, Saudi Arabia and was within miles of U.S. troops. There was a time when that guy couldn't lay his head in the same place 2 nights in a row. But now he is the Minister of Interior and is issuing with impunity travel documents to folks that can come here legally and just set up shop.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.